I want you to know this is what I write every day. And it changes and it goes up and it goes down. But there's always something for me to be grateful for. Sometimes it's just, I'm writing this at 6 a.m. Just having the energy to get up at 6 a.m. and do a morning workout is something I look at as an opportunity for gratitude. Welcome to the Ignited Recovery Podcast, a new way forward for anyone looking for answers but feeling left out. If you've been searching for empowerment, triumph, and purpose, you've found them right here. You won't hear the same solutions, and you're not going to have any excuses to fall back on, because Ignited Recovery allows heroes to rise and become their best selves. I'm Dr. Adi Jaffe, and I can't wait to be your guide on this journey. Are you ready to become an ignited hero? Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Ignited Recovery Secrets Podcast. I'm Adi Jaffe, and I'm really excited to be here with you today because it's the day after my birthday. And so I was thinking to myself, what would I want to talk about the day after my birthday? And, if you really know me, you know that I don't really care about birthdays all that much, to be perfectly honest. I sort of remember that my birthday is coming up just a few days before it normally does. Literally this year, Sophie said, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" And I was really impartial. I ended up going to dinner with a couple of friends, and that was nice. And I love my friends, and so that was really cool. But I'm not big. Like, I love my life on a daily basis so much that, the day I was born is not that special for me. And some people think that's crazy. I'm kind of that way about, I would say, almost all dates, much to the chagrin of Sophie. But I don't know. It's just the way it is. Life is amazing, and I get to celebrate it every day. And so I was thinking about, what do I want to do the day after my birthday for this amazing podcast? And it dawned on me that I'm so grateful for my life, but it wasn't always like that. And I really do pay homage to my daily gratitude list that I do, that allows me to really connect to all the things that I love. Sophie jokes that I think it was 2 years ago now, that she gave me this 5-minute journal, maybe 3 years ago. She gave me the 5-minute journal for my birthday, and she really didn't think I was going to do anything with it. And I've been religious about it since, unless I'm sick. And then on the weekends, I don't really do it most weekends. I'm on this thing like there's no tomorrow. So here's what I thought we could do. I am taking my 5-minute journal, and I'm going to go relive some of these dates with you and kind of talk about what it was that I was grateful for. It's just 3 things every morning, but read the list to you guys and talk a little bit about it, because I think a lot of the people that I talk to, a lot of people I work with, want to do a gratitude list. You guys have written me before. You really like the idea, but then it seems daunting. And I totally get it. I used to be there myself. But then once I started doing it, and every single morning having to come up with things that I'm grateful for, it actually got easier and easier over time. So it's not like I never get stuck, but I'll be able to walk you guys through the process here today. And I don't know, you guys get to kind of live a few of my weeks with me. We'll see how much we get through. I don't really know quite yet, but we are starting January 10th. All right. So January 10th, I was grateful for an opportunity to help people change their lives. There was a specific weekend I was going out that weekend to help a specific client, and I was really, really fortunate to be able to work with him, and so that it felt like I really wanted to be grateful for that. I was also grateful for morning workouts. I started working out regularly every morning probably only about 1.5 to 2 years ago, and it's really created a massive change in my energy level and my level of fitness, and I love that. And then I was grateful for a great relationship. The next day, 1/11, a good meal last night. The client and I, as we were working, we went out to a really great restaurant, and that was really fun and amazing, and so I was grateful for that. Sophie's amazing support. Honestly, just the fact that Sophie was okay with me leaving like this for a weekend. We live such a cocooned, homebodied life. I was really happy for that. And then my kids' great health was another one. Sophie and I are very aware how fortunate we are on a regular basis that our kids are healthy, and we don't take it for granted. So I was grateful for it that day. 1:13, I was grateful for being back home. I was coming back from this work weekend, and it was hard and tiring, and I was up for many, many hours every day. And so it felt really, really good and supported to be back home. Also, I love our house, so that meant a lot. Never the one to shy away from work. Sophie and I jumped right into it and had done a workshop. And so I felt really grateful for being able to do this awesome workshop with Sophie. That was my next one. And then a brand new week. Again, I got to say, I would have slapped myself in the head. I say this a lot to people who know me, but I would have slapped myself in the face for being so grateful about everything that happens in my life. But I swore, because I've had this practice, I'm so happy that I just get to do what I do, that just being happy and grateful for a brand new week was there. 114, the next day, a new productivity tool was one of the things I was grateful for. If you've listened to me for a while, you know that being on point, being focused is something I actually really, really struggle with. And I had found a productivity tool actually from the same people who made the 5-minute journal. I used this for a few months and I really, really loved it. This was when I first started using it, and it was really great. It rests on something called the Pomodoro technique. If you don't know about it, read about it. It's a pretty powerful technique that splits up your to-do into 25-minute increments. Ironically, I've moved past this now, and I use a different technique for organizing myself. But I was so happy to find something that even allowed me to stay within the realm of organization. And this really got me started on a new path of much better daily morning organization. So I was really grateful for that. Grateful for morning workouts again. Like I said, sometimes these things repeat, and I'm, in the morning when I do this, I'm about to go work out. And so oftentimes I'm really just grateful that I get to move that way in the morning. Next up was having ample work. I know I'm fortunate in being able to do that right now during this time of COVID. I'm even more grateful for this, but I'm always amazed that I just get to do what I love and what I'm good at, and work just keeps showing up. Definitely being with Sophie has allowed me to have more trust in that, but I get to be excited about it every single day when I recognize it. Next day was 1:15, and one of the first things I was grateful for again was energy to wake up early. I used to sleep in, not super late. I would wake up relatively early, but I'd wake up at 6. It's 7:30, or 8, something along those lines. Starting to wake up earlier really opened up my days and actually gave me more energy over time. Next up, our podcast continuing to do really well was one of the things I was grateful for. Sophie and I didn't know if the podcast was going to succeed when we did it. We just wanted to have these conversations publicly because we were having them privately, and we were so enthralled with the topics of what we had to talk about. And so I'm always amazed, continue to be amazed, and feel fortunate and really committed to growing this podcast more and more and more. But I'm also really grateful for what it's doing. I used to come from a place where no matter how well things were going, I was never grateful for them because I always was looking at what they would be in the future. Now I've learned that I can be both grateful for where things are right now and look forward to the growth that we will experience. So that's that. Next up was my mom's help getting this house. Sophie and I have worked really hard for years. I've worked incredibly hard for many years, and Sophie has in her own company, and we've done this together as well. But I don't have to tell you, if you've been out there trying to buy a home, buying a home is tough. Coming up with a down payment is nearly impossible for most of us. My mom really helped us out with that, and I will be forever grateful for that because we absolutely love this home. That day in particular, I wanted to write that down. And you'll notice some of these things I'm grateful for are huge, mom helping us buy a house, and some of them are small, energy to wake up. But I get to be grateful for all of them and recognize that. Next up is 116. This looks like a Friday. I'm grateful for date night tonight. One of the certain things that Sophie and I get to do in our relationship is pay attention and take time for each other. Again, part of my job is not to take it for granted. Just because we do it doesn't mean it's easy, doesn't mean we don't have to think about it, doesn't mean it just comes automatically. And so when we are planning for date night, I'm so excited about it that morning. It was one of the things I was grateful for. And then next up was Noah's face. I don't know if you've seen pictures of my daughter or not. I don't know if I'm biased. I think genetically I'm programmed to be biased about this. But I could be in the worst mood on the face of the earth, and Noah will look at me. I don't care if she's smiling, scowling, mad, crying. Just seeing her turn around and seeing her face sometimes she doesn't even have to freaking turn around, she can just literally just be there, and I can see her body, and that's it. Everything gets to be good. I had that experience once we had Kai. I mean, just all my kids, but there's something about babies, right? There's just something about toddlers and babies that just is amazing. So Noah's face was the one. And then again, I was grateful for that organization system that was really changing my life. It was, I've been struggling with organization for much of my life. I'm always trying to refine it. And so I was grateful for that. Next day was 1/17. So I'm sorry, that must have been Thursday. We're now on Friday. I was now grateful for the dinner I got to have with Sophie and Rochelle, our friend. So we went on date night, double dated, had a great dinner, had a lot of fun. Next up, I was grateful for the opportunities to grow and get better. This is actually something a lot of you write to me about. You ask, when did I get grateful around conflict or around discomfort? And this is one of those things. I look at discomfort, I look at things that feel like friction and before maybe would have angered me and made me anxious or stressed out. I look at them now as opportunities. And the reason I look at them as opportunities is because I've learned in the past that when I take those head on and I don't shy away from them, I don't run away from them, my life gets better. So now I'm grateful every single time one of those things come up. It's a perspective shift, but it's been a pretty big one for me. Then pictures up in my office. When we moved, it took me, if we're talking about January, we're talking about, 4 months after we moved in here, that I finally put these pictures up in my office. Last time we were in Israel, my mom gave me some pictures. My parents love to collect art, and my mom let me pick some pieces of art that they had on their walls when I was younger, and I picked ones that I loved. I always loved them, right? These were things that I'd grown up around, and I always loved them, so I took them up. But they'd been sitting in our storage for months and months and months, literally at this point, 5-6 months, maybe longer. And so finally I put them up, and I was really, really happy. I mean, I'm actually staring at those pictures right now, because if you know this, if you've got things from your childhood that really remind you of a good time, remind you of the life that you used to live, these pictures are some of those for me. And so being able to look at them in my office all the time and actually fit, I have a yellow couch and they're yellow, it really just fit the whole thing. It was perfect. So I was really grateful for that. And then the weekend hit and there's a break and we go to the next week, 1/20. And that's obviously a Monday. And one of the things I was grateful for was last night with Sophie. Now, that's code. I think you know what it's code for, but I marked it down. Again, guys, look, I don't take anything for granted. So I've been with my wife for 16 years. Well, we've been married for 11, but been with her for 16 years. So the fact that we're still hot for each other and are attracted to each other and get to express that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I get to be grateful for that all the time. Next up is meeting with Jeremy. I got an accountant right before we did this for Ignited. And I don't know if you've ever run a business, but if you have, when you don't know what's going on in it, when you don't have any numbers around it, it's actually really stress inducing and anxiety provoking, especially for people like me who want to know whatever I can about everything. So I had a meeting with my accountant and we went over some stuff and that felt really, really good. And last but not least, I was grateful for opportunities that I have. So this is similar to the thing before about growth, etc. But this was just a more general one about just being grateful for the things that life throws at me. Now, that's a little over a week that we just reviewed, but I want you to know this is what I write every day. And it changes and it goes up and it goes down, but there's always something for me to be grateful for. Sometimes it's just, I'm writing this at 6 a.m. Just having the energy to get up at 6 a.m. and do a morning workout is something I look at as an opportunity for gratitude. So it's the day after my birthday. I've got a birthday wish for you. And that is, if you've struggled with these gratitude lists before, just take them on. You don't need a 5-minute journal. You can, if you want, go to bit.ly.com/Dr. J 5-minute journal. The D and the J are capitalized. We'll have the link below. And, I'm an affiliate for them. And if you want to buy through that link, that would be awesome. But you don't need the 5-minute journal. I use it because it's comfortable. I love the way it looks and it makes it really, really easy. So I don't have to print pages or anything. You can take a piece of paper every day and write 3, 4, 12, 50 things you're grateful for. And I guarantee, in a very scientific way, this will improve your life. Why? Because if you're like me, then every morning when you wake up, you can run to the things that aren't working. You can run to what you're missing. You can run to what you didn't do yesterday that you needed to get done and feel badly about it. And that will create a bias in your brain, a bias to look towards what isn't working and what to be critical about. But when I do a gratitude list, it creates a different bias. And that bias is what is going well? What am I grateful for? What am I happy that is happening in my life currently? And then what I notice is throughout the rest of my day, that bias remains because I set it in the morning. And that bias means that I get to look at things that I would have completely ignored before and be grateful for them. And that gratitude and happiness makes the rest of my life better. It's a practice I will never, ever, 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 ever give up. That's a Winston Churchill quote, by the way. And I wish the same for you because it's really changed my life over the last few years. So check it out, journal or not, get it done. It's my birthday wish, so you got to make it happen. All right. If you like this, leave us a review, leave me comments, tag me at ignited.me or at Dr. Adi Jaffe on Instagram or Facebook, any of those things. Let me know what resonated. Come back, subscribe, check us out. That is my biggest wish. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you for tuning in to the Ignited Heroes Recovery Podcast. I really hope you found the information here useful and that we'll see you back here next week. And look, I want to make sure that this podcast is the most useful it can be for you, so please let me know by emailing info@ignited.com if there are any specific topics or questions you'd like to have addressed. As usual, if you like this episode, I would love for you to leave us a 5-star review and rating. Thanks, and see you next week.